Hey everybody, it's Miss Edwards. I am recording this video for you so that you can see exactly what your essay should look like step by step. Today what we're going to do is we're going to go through the introduction paragraph and what exactly should be included in that. We're also going to go through the body paragraphs and what they should look like, as well as your conclusion paragraph. Let's get started. First, let's review what each of your paragraphs should look like. Your introduction paragraph should start off with a hook. And a hook is simply a sentence that engages your readers in what you're about to talk about. Many people are using quotes. Some people are using a question. Others are using an interesting thing that happened in the text that they're referencing. But regardless, you really want to engage your readers with that very first sentence of your introduction paragraph. Then, what you want to do is you want to move into giving a sentence that explains the name of your text and who wrote it. So for you guys, that might mean the Gettysburg Address, written by Abraham Lincoln, or the narrative of the life of Frederick Douglass, written by Frederick Douglass. Next, what you'll want is a sentence or two of background information. And this information can be about anything to do with what's going on in either of these texts. It can be about the time period, it can be about the people involved, anything that would lead your reader into information they need as they go forward in your essay. The last sentence of your introduction paragraph should have your thesis statement or your claim. Let's take a look at an example of what this might look like. This here is a sample introduction paragraph. As you can see, the first two sentences are the hook. It says the founding fathers of the United States outlined very specific and alienable rights in their original writings, specifically that all men should be free and equal. However, in the beginning of our country's history, it seems that this equality only extended to wealthy land-owning white men. That's the very first sentence or two of your introduction paragraph. You then want to mention the name of the text and the author, as seen here in the next sentence and a half. It says, in her memoir, Harriet Jacobs describes what life was like as an enslaved person in pre-Civil War America. Some of her accounts are truly horrifying, particularly when seen through today's lens. In Incidents of the Life of a Slave Girl, as you can see, I've included the name of the author as well as the name of the text. I also, throughout these two sentences, have given background information on something to do with the actual topic at hand. I told you exactly what the text was about. I talked about the time period it was set in. I talked about how it's truly horrifying. And finally, in that very last sentence, I describe specifically what I'm going to talk about in my thesis statement. It says, in Incidents in the Life of a Slave Girl, Harriet Jacobs challenges the idea that all men are created equal by describing the abuses she and her family suffered at the hands of their masters, and outlining the rights she was denied on the basis of her skin color. In this final sentence, I highlight exactly what my two body paragraphs are going to be about. The first one has been highlighted in blue, which will show up in our first body paragraph. The second one has been highlighted in green, which will show up in our second body paragraph. This will be the same as in your essay. Now let's talk about what's going to show up in your body paragraphs. The very first sentence of your body paragraph should be a topic sentence. It should tell me exactly what you're about to talk about throughout that paragraph, and it should connect directly to your thesis statement. After you have a topic sentence, you then want to introduce your evidence. After you have introduced your evidence, you then want to give me your direct quote or your evidence. Please be sure to format it correctly by including direct quotation marks and a period after the quote. Next, you want to explain your evidence in your words. If all else fails, use the phrase, "this means that." This will help you set up whatever sentence you need to write at this point. After you've explained the quote in your words, you will then connect your evidence back to your topic sentence. Connect your evidence back to the point you're trying to prove directly from your thesis statement. If all else fails, you can always rely on the phrase, "this shows that," to help set up this connecting sentence. Let's look at what an example looks like in our sample essay. Remember, our thesis statement says, Harriet Jacob challenges the idea that all men are created equal by, here's our first point, describing the abuses she and her family suffered at the hands of their masters. This is exactly what should look like in your topic sentence. One example of Jacob's challenging the idea that all men are created equal is when she describes the way her grandmother was forcibly sold after being promised her freedom. This outlines one of the many ways that trust between enslaved people and their masters was abused. This specific topic sentence tells you exactly what point you're trying to prove, and it connects back to your thesis statement. After your topic sentence, you then want to introduce your quote. Following the death of her mistress, who promised Jacob's grandmother her freedom, Dr. Flint, who was the beneficiary of the mistress's will, tells Jacob's grandmother that it, as you can see here with this sentence, it's introducing what's going to come within the direct quote, and it is explaining why it's important. Then we have our direct quote. Tells Jacob's grandmother that it was necessary she should be sold. Notice again, in this direct quote, this piece of evidence, it has quotation marks around it. It ends in a period. That is the correct way to format your quote. Now let's look at how this is explained. It says, this was a direct violation of the trust that Jacob's grandmother had with her deceased mistress. When the day came for her grandmother to be sold, even other slaveholders refused to bid for her. This is an explanation of what this quote and what the context here means in regards to our main point. This essay is a little bit more complex because it gives several portions of a quote here within this piece of evidence. It goes on to say, this was due to the fact that everybody who knew her respected her intelligence and good character, and that her long and faithful service in the family was well known. Next, after you've explained your quote, you'll then want to explain how it connects back to your topic sentence. It says, this is just one of the many abuses suffered by Jacobs and her family. However, they were not unique. Many people were treated with cruelty by their masters. This inherently challenges the idea that all men are created equal. So these last two sentences connect directly back to the topic sentence. The topic sentence then connects directly back to the thesis statement. That is how a body paragraph should be set up. Now let's look at a sample conclusion paragraph and what it should include. In a conclusion paragraph, the very first thing that you want to do is restate your thesis or your claim. This can be done in 1 to 3 sentences depending on how you want to elaborate. You then want to leave your reader, aka your teacher, with a final thought about the ideas discussed within your essay. In this conclusion paragraph, let's take a look at how it's set up. It says, these experiences detailed by Jacobs throughout her memoir should illustrate how brutal and inequitable, or unequal, the lives of American slaves were. Given this evidence, it would be difficult for anyone to argue that legal slavery could be maintained in a country that claimed to be dedicated to the idea that all men are created equal. Here is a direct connection back to the original thesis statement. It goes on. The abuses and denied rights, this is an exact quote from the thesis statement, the abuses and the rights denied, described in the Incidents of a Slave Girl by Harriet Jacobs, inherently challenge this fundamental idea. And finally, after this whole thesis statement has been restated, you want to leave your reader with a final thought. Fortunately, reading these accounts today may help us to create and promote a more equitable society. Therefore, in this final sentence, it leaves me, or your teacher, the reader, with a specific way that this applies to our lives even today. Let's review. First, your introduction should include your hook. Then it should include the name of the text and the author. Then it should include some brief background information. And finally, it should end with your thesis statement and your claim. Your body paragraphs should start with a topic sentence. After a topic sentence, you need to introduce your evidence. After you introduce your evidence, then you need to actually have your direct quote or evidence. Make sure that you have quotation marks around it. Next, you want to explain your evidence. If all else fails, you can fall back on the phrase, "this means that." After you explain your evidence in your words, you then want to finally connect your evidence. Connect it back to your topic sentence or the point you're trying to prove in this paragraph. Again, if all else fails, you can rely on the phrase, "this shows that." Finally, let's talk about your conclusion. Your conclusion will start off by restating your thesis and your claim. And finally, it will end by giving a final thought for your reader, me, and how this will apply still today in our day. I hope that clarifies for you what your essay should look like. I really hope that you take advantage of this essay checklist. Have a great and wonderful rest of your day. Please feel free to email me or your teacher about this. Thank you.